in order to treat many of the diseases that people were asking about, we have to figure out a way to get the DNA or DNA modifying enzymes to the right cell type. And Scott was alluding to this too. And that's a big part of the science. I mentioned that we can use viruses, we can use chemicals or even physical methods to introduce those DNA or DNA modifying enzymes to cells. And um, the field has not succeeded with some cell types, and has succeeded with other cell types, and that limits to some extent the diseases that we can easily treat with genome engineering or gene therapy. Beyond that, as Scott was explaining, we have to just decide, well, what genetic changes would reverse a disease like autism. And because the disease isn't completely understood at the genetic level, we know there are forms of genetic autism, but other forms of autism we don't know the basis of really. So we don't know what changes to make. So that's there's some big challenges with some of these complex diseases, where the cause isn't always so obvious. Once we solve those problems, though, we still do need to decide how to do it safely. Um, and so there's a whole field called genetic toxicology, or where we look at the off-target genetic damage that can occur when we introduce DNA to cells or we introduce DNA modifying enzymes to cells, um, so that we can try to do everything we do with precision. We don't want to damage the genome of cells in the body too much with these treatments, because there's always a chance that you could um, kill cells, but even worse, turn them into cancer. That's been reported in very rare cases. And Scott was alluding to that. Pretty much only in cases where a virus was used to deliver genes to T cells that's been seen, or hematopoietic stem cells.
Hmm.
Um, so, all of these are big issues, and it's true that right now the field of gene therapy is more focused on the diseases that we know are caused by a single gene alteration, a single gene mutation. We call those monogenic genetic diseases, and there are over 7,000 of those described. So there's a lot of work to do beyond some of the common ones that people have heard about, like cystic fibrosis, Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, or sickle cell anemia.